Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome back to another of my 12 videos featuring all of my cars over this festive holiday period. What have I got in store for you today? Well, today we're talking about some extremely rare cars. You can forget your Bugatti Chirons, your Porsche Carrera GTs, your Ferrari F50s, because the cars that I'm talking about today, well, they're amongst the rarest classic hot hatches out on the roads. What is it then? Well, today we're talking about my Rover R3s. And we're starting with this, my Rover 200 VI, and then my Rover 25 GTi, which is actually yet to feature here on the channel. So let's get cracking. Before the head gaskets do. Right, let's clear something up right at the beginning of the video. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you might be wondering, well, why haven't I mentioned the 3 Rover R3s that I own? Where is the MG ZR160? Well, I've not mentioned it because I've sold it. You can't keep them all. Makes me actually quite sad, but you can't keep them all. That car has gone to another real enthusiast, a guy called James, who I know has got big plans to improve, drive and to show that car. So it really has gone to the right person. Best of luck with my ZR, James. So that leaves me this 1999 Rover 200 VI and my 2001 Rover 25 GTi. Both in green and both, as I mentioned earlier, extremely rare cars. In fact, I checked on the How Many Left website before I came out to make this video. There are only 19 of these Rover 200 VIs left on the road and only 34 of the 25 GTIs. Wow. Let's start with this one then, my 1999 200 VI. I've just uncovered it, needs a bit of a clean. But actually, if you've been following my channel, then you've seen a few videos on this car because I've done quite a bit of work to bring this car up to a decent standard. It really is a very clean example of a 200 VI. In fact, I dailied this car for a while. It was great fun. This car also has the sweetest sounding K-Series engine I think I've ever owned, and that's thanks largely to this car's extensive service history. I've owned most iterations of the Rover R3. Thinking back, I've owned the Rover 200 standard car, the 25, I've had a Rover 25 Commerce, and I had a really tidy Rover BRM. Boy, do I wish I kept that one. In fact, the only one that I'm yet to own is the Streetwise, which I must admit I didn't go much on when launched, but these days, well, I think they are pretty cool. So what are the things that I like about my Rover 200 VI? Well, first of all, I love the shape of the R3, particularly the rear of the car. I think it lends itself so well to being a hot hatch. I love these half leather red pipe sports seats. I also like the way this thing drives. That K-Series engine is revvy and this car is loads of fun. Plus, this one has the rare option of air conditioning. What don't I like about my 200 VI? Well, wherever you go, everyone mentions the head gaskets on these K-Series engined cars. And to be honest, and not wishing to tempt fate, but I've owned a few of the K-Series cars, I've never actually had a head gasket issue on any of the K-Series engines that I've owned. Sure, the multi-layer head gasket is a good mod and resolves the potential for the issue, but a well-maintained K-Series engine is good for lots of miles. Now, I do consider selling this car from time to time, but in truth, it doesn't owe me a great deal. And well, if I do sell it, I'm unlikely ever to get another. Plus, it looks really good parked next to my Rover 800 Vitesse. And it will look great parked next to another Rover that's coming to join my collection very soon. And it's a cool one, so please do stay tuned to the channel for that. Right, from my 5-door Rover 200 VI, let's go take a look at my 3-door Rover 25 GTi. Here it is then, and well, I'm expecting it to look pretty sorry for itself under here. And that's because I haven't used this car on the road since October 2020, and I haven't driven this car since, well, I suppose July 21. I don't even think I've started it for over a year. It kind of just, well, it sits here in the corner of the barn. Let's take a look. Well, it's not looking good, but I don't think it's looking too bad. Thankfully, it's been sat here dry stored for the past 18 months, just sat here really in the corner of the barn. And well, I think we'll put some air in the tyres in a minute and see if this thing will start. Do you know only 1,300 Rover 25 GTIs were ever made? In fact, this is the last Rover ever to wear a sporting badge, thanks to, in 2001, the MG Z cars coming in and being MG Rover's offering in that hot hatch market. This took over from the 200 VI, from the Rover 200 BRM, and really was a precursor to that MG ZR. I really like these. I think they're cool, they're funky, they're a little bit niche. I really like it. I think also, I mentioned earlier how well I think this shape, this R3 shape, lends itself to being a hot hatch. And with those quad headlamps, well, you only need to look at the MG ZR to see how smart a car that is. It really does look like an animal. As for the Rover 25 GTI, well, Rover took a slightly more subtle approach when dressing this car as a hot hatch. Sure, it's got the boot lid spoiler, but pretty much every Rover 25 came with that. With the GTI specific bits, well, being the sports exhaust, the 16-inch alloy wheels, and a unique GTI black grille, and of course GTI badging. Inside the car, the GTI came with a quite handsome half leather oval patterned interior. It's really nice. Mine, however, has had the interior swapped out by a previous owner, and it's now been fitted with the half leather Monza interior found in the MG ZR. The good news though is that I actually bought another Rover 25 GTI a couple of years ago as a donor, and I took the correct interior out of that one along with a load more bits, but the interior came out of that one ready to go into this one. I don't think it's looking too bad under here at all. Of course, under the bonnet, well, the 25 GTI has the 1.8 litre K-Series engine and the variable valve control. This engine's putting out just under 145 brake horsepower with a 0 to 60 time of 7.9 seconds. That's actually 0.4 of a second slower to 60 than the 200 VI. Look, the 25 GTI was never going to be the hottest of hot hatches, but it's a very nippy little car. This car's capable of 126 miles an hour. And to be honest, well, it's quite responsive off the lights and it's got quite a rigid chassis. It makes this a very decent little performance car. Now, we've got some coolant in there. I'll check the oil and, well, we'll continue with our checks and we'll give it a go in a minute. We'll see if it'll start. I'm not going to lie to you, it's a little bit smelly in here. We've got a little bit of mould, not too much, but there's some mould in here. I probably won't stay in here too long. Also, the headlining is sat on my head, but we could do something about it. Sat in here actually, brings back some lovely memories. Like, I bought this car over 3 years ago and, well, I bought it because I always fancied one because they are rare. Sure, this car's got some paintwork blemishes and it looks a little bit tired, but it did drive me the 296 miles home without any issues at all. And I used it as a daily car for a couple of months. It really was fab. Will it start today though? That's the big question. And to be honest, if it does, well, I think I'll get it out of the barn and in for an MOT. Let's see what this car needs to go back on the road. And if you're interested in seeing that, please let me know in the comments below, because I will feature it here on the channel if there's interest for this little old 25 GTI. Now, I actually robbed the battery out of the key fob here, so I've replaced it with a new one. Also, I've put a battery onto the battery out the front and a jumps pack, so in fact I'll show you a picture of it now. A bit dodgy, but we'll see if that works. I've put some fresh fuel in this car, so let's see if it starts. And this genuinely is the first try for me to start this car. Fingers crossed, everyone. Let's see if it goes. Here we go. Look at the original CD player, the original Rover CD player. That's lovely. A bit of mould on it, but I shall clean that up. Right, here we go. Oh, that was so close. Come on, little Rover, come on. "18 months in a barn," genuinely the first start. Oh, it sounds nice. Listen to that exhaust. I can't believe it. I'm over the moon. Look, whilst the car's running for a moment, what do I like about my Rover 25 GTi? Well, I love the fact that it's the last Rover ever to wear a sporting badge. I love that black grille up the front, and I'm reminded now, I love the noise this car makes. Oh, that's great. What I don't like about this car, well, right now, absolutely nothing. If I'm honest, I don't know what I'll do with this car. I mean, it's been sat here for the past 18 months. Let's see if it'll go through an MOT. I'm fascinated to know myself, and well, then we'll make some decisions about this little car. Whilst I get the car that's in front of it out of the way, well, where do I rank this car? In fact, where do I rank the 200 VI and this car in my 17 cars? Well, coming out here today, I kind of thought about this. I ranked the 200 VI here, and I ranked the 25 GTi here, but that may change. Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll get it out of the barn and see it outside. I'll pop the tyres up and then we'll close out this video. Success! Better than yesterday's car that wouldn't start, the sport car. If you haven't seen that, go back and have a look. This one did. Brilliant. Okay, so far so good. That one now, the 25, that's been running for about 40 minutes. All the tyres are up, the car's warmed up, the fan's kicked in. It's time to move that one for the first time. And to be able to do that, well, I've had to move the 260 out of the way because it was in the way to be able to get it out. In fact, this is running, and well, it'd be rude, wouldn't it, not to give it a rev here in the barn. Here we go. Video on this one a couple of days ago here on the channel. Right, let's move that for the first time. Fingers crossed. Okay, here goes. First move in 18 months. Oh, they're a bit seized. Yes. Okay. Running nicely and out in the daylight for the first time in what, 18 months. I need to grease the bonnet catch because that's not quite catching there, but looking okay. Tyres are holding air, bit of water there coming out of the exhaust. That's a nice profile. You can see the paint blemishes now. Let me zoom in and just show you those. That door needs doing, doesn't it? I don't know, it's the lacquer that's gone, but let's say that's a bit of water escaping from the joint in the exhaust, not fuel. And around the back, Bit dirty around the back because the cover was only covering half the car, but look at that. That's a smart looking car. And there's that all important GTi badge. Well, I genuinely didn't expect this video to end here. This car is out of the barn, it's running, and it's sounding, well, really nice. So there's a bit of moisture there coming out of the exhaust, but other than that, sounds great, doesn't it? In fact, we've got a little private track here. I might just run it up and down there in a moment. If you want to see more on this car, please do let me know. I'm going to run a sponge over it, sort the headlining out, and drop it in for an MOT, and well, let's see what they say about it. You never know, it might go through. Stranger things have happened. I certainly need to work the brakes off a little bit. They're quite heavily corroded, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to my 12 car videos of Cornish car collectors. Should see you again tomorrow if I can keep this pace of videos up. I'm not entirely sure how SME does it, but well, we're doing our version of it. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now. Bye-bye.